Welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, the podcast where we ask a musician, a band, an artist to come in, give us 4 original tunes. We sit and talk about those tunes, how they came about, the journey to get there, where we're going, and all of that good stuff. Tonight, we are missing my buddy Earl, unfortunately, and Spencer, but we have some fill-ins, Jody and my beautiful wife, Kim. Jody. Hi, Jody. See, that's what I get every time I say, okay. Anyway, tonight we have an amazing, amazing group. The first time that I was privileged enough to see this band was at Fuzzy Pig 2024. This is 2024. Fuzzy Pig 2024. Absolutely blew my mind. Kim and I were just like, talked about you guys for weeks. And there were highlights in that week that have come up a lot since that festival and since just, I guess as the year's gone. And you are certainly one of them. Tonight, our guest, Arianna and the Bourbon Britches.
Fire blazing hot in my head. Gotta get out for the sky's turn red. $7 in a loaf of bread. I've got a face of beauty, but a heart of lead. Gotta run, run, run. Now I'm a getaway train out of this town and away from this pain. I'll turn up where the skies don't pour no rain. Run, run, run. Now I'm a just dreams playing. Gotta do what I need and I won't be brave. Breaking barricades, it all stands in my way. Run, I'm a getaway. Where the skies don't pour no rain. Run, run, run. Now I'm a getaway train out of this town and away from this pain. I'll turn up where the skies don't pour no rain. Run, run, run. Now I'm a just dream playing. Gotta do what I need and I won't be brave. Break the barricades, it all stands in my way. Run, I'm the getaway train. Grow taller, your demons grow smaller. feel like being bad. Feel like being bad. Feel like being bad. Tired of being good girl, wanna make some trouble swirl. I feel like being bad. I feel like being bad. Broken flowers on a table. Yeah, I let them sit and wilt and gather dust. Just like me, they're so unstable. They're the little rembrandts of what's left of us. Who was I to think that I could act that way and expect someone like you to wanna stay? Looking back now, I can see my big mistake. It's why I'm singing here alone today. 'Cause you sent me flowers and I threw them out the door. I stomped the petals right into that concrete porch. I swept them up and then I threw them in a vase. But breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. Breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. I'm the girl who always runs back after I set your world on fire and break your heart. Shelf above my closet coat rack is full of dried up petals stuffed in mason jars. Who's I to think that I could act that way and expect someone like you to wanna stay? Looking back now, I can see my big mistake. It's why I'm singing here alone today. 'Cause you sent me flowers and I threw them out the door. I stomped the petals right into that concrete porch. I swept them up and then I threw them in a vase. But breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. Breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. You sent me flowers and I threw them out the door. I know it's my fault you don't love me anymore. Now I don't even bother taking out the vase. 'Cause breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. Breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. You sent me flowers and I threw them out the door. I stomped the petals right into that concrete porch. I swept them up and then I threw them in a vase. But breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. Breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. Yeah, breaking flowers probably means that it's too late. Oh, breaking flowers probably means that it's too
Thank you for having us out tonight.
That was amazing. It was amazing
Thank
tonight,
you.
you all. So
Thank you.
So good.
yeah, so Jody and Kim aren't usually in here for, they don't get in here a lot for performances and stuff, but it was like a done deal as soon as we booked it that I was like, Kim, you got to be in. You got to be in. They're coming. They're going to be here. We got to be here. So to have them in and to kind of get the experience tonight was just amazing. The songs are killer. I'm going to do Earl's part. Here's what the songs are amazing. You all were amazing. The vocals were unbelievable. Everything about what you all do is so refreshing, great. But I think we'll just kind of start from the beginning and just see how we got to the point where we got to get here today as you all as a group. Because for listeners that don't know, which I'm sure anybody that's listened and knows the Louisville music community, you all are all staples in it and you do your own thing. So you are kind of like a Louisville supergroup. So to have you all come together and do this, Southern Indiana to Indiana, Louisville, but come on, it's been awesome to watch. And I'm just hearing you all talk tonight, there's been a growth even within the last little bit of time that you all have gotten together as the four of you. So let's kind of just talk about the origin of how you all got together and then how we got to where we are tonight. I guess, Arianna, you get the honors.
Sure. So we've all got different backgrounds for sure. We've all been a part of so many different groups. And these ladies, Kendra, Kelsey, and Anna, are still part of different groups. My main focus is Arianna and the Bourbon Britches right now. But so we came together. It was Kelsey and Anna at first. We came together for just a spur of the moment show in Arkansas. Was that almost 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. Getting close to 2 years ago in Arkansas. And it just melded together great. We loved it. And we're like, maybe we can do something with this. And then Kendra joined us at Fuzzy Pig.
Oh my God.
For our very first show together with Kendra.
Unbelievable.
And it was unbelievable. It was amazing. So, yeah, Kendra joins us on some of the better shows, bigger, better shows where we can get her. But I think for all of us, it's been a very long journey in different aspects of music. But this has been working very well for us. So if anybody has anything else they want to say.
Arianna tried to get out of talking as much as possible. I appreciate
I'm shy.
You. I'm not letting her do that. As throwing that together last minute and for it to fit as well as it did. Number one, to send out, the invite to two really talented, established musicians for the first gig. You're not playing it like Z-Bar. You're talking about Arkansas. So there's a commitment already. All right, let's go travel. Let's see how this works out. And you have to probably meld together not only musically, but as like people when you do that, especially the first time, really kind of hitting the road and doing it. So was there, when that happened, when they were like, yeah, we'll do it, and then after that, was there some type of switch that flipped in your mind that goes, okay, like I got two studs that like what we just did, or talking about possibly doing it some more? Did it kind of solidify you as a songwriter a little bit, make you feel like, all right, this is, I mean, you've already had records. It's not like a new thing for you, but was there a validity there for you?
Yes. So back to Arkansas. Oh, Lord.
That'd be a good song title, Back to Arkansas.
Yes,
right,
Back to Arkansas would be a great song. So we went down to Arkansas. We also had another player at the time, Jacob Head. Just got to give him a little cahoos. He was on mandolin?
He played some mandolin.
Mandolin, yes.
Yeah, band. I think he may have brought his band. He's a jack of all trades. Yeah. And he kind of brought a number of things with him.
Yeah, so we were down there. I think it was like it was supposed to be a 2-day run. We ended up staying at the last night as well, just because we were so tired. But the very first day, we played like 2 or 3 sets, and we had rehearsed those sets, and it was all right. We were, we'd only had one practice prior. Like me and Anna had played together, but me and Kelsey had literally just met. Like we had just met. So we were making it work. And then that first day, we went up into our room and we just started jamming out. And we just we clicked. And I was like, we ended up because I had everything wrote out perfect, like the set list, I mean. And that's what we were going to play the next day. And so we decided we were just going to, let's try something different. Let's see what we can do. And so the next day, we ended up avoiding the set list and doing some other songs that, you know, I had played before, obviously, but we never played together. And it was like a little magical moment. Yeah. And it was windy and it was cold, Arkansas, but we had a good time. And then Kelsey actually got us our first gig as the Britches. Yeah. And that was in November because Arkansas was very early October. I think it was the first week in October or second week in October. And then Kelsey, you know, we got back from that show. We all kind of cooled off from our little adventure. And then a couple weeks later, Kelsey messaged, she's like, hey, got a show in Louisville. Wrote that Gravely?
Yeah.
Gravely Brewing? Yeah. And then from there, it just took off. So, yeah, but yeah, it's definitely sparked it sparked something.
No doubt.
It sparks something every time I'm with these ladies. So
yeah, a little bit of magic in the air, you know.
Yeah.
So what was it about, you know, when you listened and were kind of in that room for you all that made you go, this could be something we could do. This is really cool.
I had played with Arianna in another band previously, so I already, you know, knew she was incredibly talented, incredible songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Just needed her chance herself to really shine.
Yeah.
And I've known Kelsey for like
long time,
over a decade, and we've played in numerous projects. Heck, we even backed Hanson at one point at Louisville Palace.
Yes,
Shut
we
up.
did.
Yeah.
So
like,
that was so fun.
Me and Kelsey, like, we go way back. We've been playing music together for a long time. So, like, this thing in Arkansas was supposed to be another band's gig. And that crashed and burned terribly. So it was my gig that I booked, and I put my neck on the line. You know, This is, you know, my contact. I'm doing this show, and I was like, Arianna, if you're down to still do this, we can make this work. I was like, you're a fucking star. So, oops, I hope I can say that.
You cannot cuss on this podcast.
it's done dead.
So I was like, I know a really great drummer and singer who can play with us. And I was like, I know a slew of other musicians that could probably, you know, if we need another filler. And I knew Kelsey was going to be an ace. She's always an ace. Mm-hmm. She kills it every time she does anything. So, and I was like, Arianna, you're going to be a star. Mm. You're going to shine, my friend.
Time to shine, Arianna.
Time to shine. And she did. And you know what?
She did.
Ever since then, she has been shining nice and bright.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that was the funny thing, was that since I had played with Anna so much and so often, I went to a couple of their shows, and everything that Arianna wrote just struck my whole soul. Mm-hmm. Like the whole, just connecting with the music, connecting with the lyrics. I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is who I would want to back. This is who I would want to play with. And playing with Anna is just super fun all the time. So that's just a win-win situation for me with two of those people. And then Kendra comes along, and that just escalated everything through the whole
That's like the cherry on the cake right there. She's like a cherry, man. It's like,
let's get into that, because, you know, right before this podcast, we were talking, because Buzzy Pig, you had a 1-month-old baby.
Right.
You're debuting with this band. So it's like, you all have to know that she wanted to do this and wants to be in it when she, you know, like you say, for the shows that are important and the big things. It's like, you got a new baby. You got this brand new, you know, the festival coming out. You've already got LaMure, which is another one of the baddest bands in all the land. Hands down. One of the probably top 50 episodes was LaMure with just you and Colin. and cannot wait to get you all back in here, which we'll do eventually. But so to carve out, to go, okay, new baby, just gave birth, month-old baby, debuting this. What was it that made you go, yeah, I'm going to commit to doing this?
Well, real quick, she was actually a year old at this point.
Oh, was she a year old?
The Fuzzy Pig prior, she was a month old. But this one, she was, which a 12-month-old is still a handful.
I think a 12-month-old might be a little bit more of a handful.
That's true.
Look, adorable baby, by the way.
But going back to the question, well, first I'm going to go back. And the first time I remember seeing Arianna was back when she played with the strings. And it was at Burnt Knob Music Festival, which was at Iroquois Amphitheater. And LaMure, it was one of our first bigger shows, and we were on the same bill. And me and Colin, I just remember us seeing them play. And then from then on, we'd seen them around. And we both had the same thought. We're like, man, I just wish that Arianna would sang more. We just both were like, man, she's so good. I wish she almost had her own band. And so it's so funny. And now she does. And me and Colin have been seeing that on the radar. And over time, we just knew that they had mentioned needing a bass player. And I had been playing bass at Open Jam for about a year, and I'd never played bass in a band, but the new year came around and I was like, you know what? My New Year's resolution is going to be step outside my comfort zone, do something different, and kind of start playing out a little bit more in different groups, maybe not just with LaMure, but do some more stuff and get into some. And when Anna had mentioned needing a bass player, that kind of just happened to be the right time. So I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. I've never done it before, but they've been very kind with my bass playing. So,
well, no, number one, life's all about timing. And I'm glad you said yes. I'm glad that you decided to make that resolution, because
we're all glad.
Yes.
I'm 100% break into tears over here.
Well, with all, it's a two-way street here, because they're committing to something that they believe in as much as everybody committing to each other as musicians, because the songs that you write are unbelievably good. They're so well-rounded and so just they hit you in that spot. I don't often make comparisons. I don't mean to make a comparison or anything like that, but I've been listening to the Dixie Chicks Home album a ton lately, and it's probably one of my top 10 albums in my life that I just, every time I listen to it, top to bottom, it's a great record. And you all have that type of the vibe, the well-written tunes, the stuff that isn't necessarily right down the middle. There's stuff that comes from out of nowhere, and there's a little bit of a lot more musicianship, although they're unbelievable. It isn't set up to sell, if that makes sense. It's just so well written and so well done. It hits you in that spot. It's just it's unbelievably good. The songs are so good, and then the performances behind that just match that. So it's, as much as it is the band's amazing, it's the total package of the songs being well done, well written. Your vocals are ridiculous, and then you add the backups. It totally it blows my mind still that was your all's first time at Fuzzy Pig, because from that moment it was already great.
There is no way.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
As a 4-piece, yeah.
I was, I gotta keep the mic on you, or the video on you. I was wondering, I was like, Spencer's always so hot in that mic. Why is Kim so quiet? And it's because you're talking into it sideways.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah.
I've
That's
been moving it constantly, but he took exactly what I was going to say, because, I grew up on the Dixie Chicks. I was very fortunate to be a part of a family dynamic where the mom wrote for Country Weekly. She would go into Nashville. She would know everybody who was coming to town, who was going to be the next big thing. And I will never forget when she came home and she said,
you guys got to listen to this, talking about me and my best friend. There's these girls and they're amazing and they're going to change country music. They're called the Dixie Chicks. And we listened to that and it was instant. Like you were hooked. You were like, oh my God, this is great. And I will never forget being at Fuzzy Pig. You know, it's a whole day of music and you're there listening to a whole day of music and it's great. But I will never forget hearing you guys come on stage and it just instantly stopped me. And I had that same reaction as I did that year that I heard the Dixie Chicks. I went, who is that? Who is that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just so contagious instantly.
Yeah.
So I had the same reaction. So me and him have never even had that conversation. So to hear him say that, that's exactly what I was going to say. That was a modern day Dixie Chick for today. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and it's probably more the capture. It's like hearing the full package and just being sucked in to what's going on. More or less a comparison to the style. For me, it's just so well done. All right, so this is good. We're gonna change gears
dear.
a little bit.
I see a look on your face. And I'm like, oh no, where are we going?
Well, it's something that we kind of touched on that last time when Anna was here, and I've thought about it so many times since then. It's a conversation that I've wanted to have, and with you all coming in, because the entire time I talk about you or think about you, what I think about is they're one of the top bands in Louisville. There's no other thought. It's not about being a band of females. It's not about being female. It's that doesn't.
It's just the talent.
It's talent based. It's musicianship. It's song based thought process for me. And so when Shannon was here and Anna was here, we talked about sexism in the music industry and kind of like even booking festivals and booking shows in town. And it kind of caught me off guard and floored me. And Shannon really said something that made sense. He was like, dude, this is the first, we were 220 episodes in. And it was the first time that sexism in music had ever come up. And it was just because it was so off my radar. And I don't mean to like get weird or political about it, but I really want to talk about it just because I think it's such an important issue that I think I need to be more aware of people that are booking musician, people that listen to music, that go out and watch local. I just think it's something that may need to be kind of brought into discussion. Let's do it. So I don't know even what question to ask other than like, how can I be educated on what really happens behind the scenes when you are trying to get booked as musicians?
Let's start with, do you have any specific questions?
Do you find is it more difficult? Is there a factor? Is there always a gender factor to booking shows or to, hey, I'd like to do this? Do you feel like you are ever looked at as, but you're a girl, or is that something that you are entertained with from people that book shows?
Are you all okay if I answer this question just in my opinion?
You can, yeah.
All right. So I'm new to this, honestly, as far as like the gender aspect. I've noticed like with us doing as, what we're doing and doing kind of well, like the festivals and stuff are solely male based. I won't lie about that. I've noticed that. I didn't notice that before in all the years of music that I've been doing. And I will say there's some times where go on, girl.
No,
you know where I'm going with this.
It feels creepy as hell. I mean, like
sometimes, yes. Like some shows that we play, there are times where we get the creepers of the crowd, Yeah, and it does make it a little awkward. It's like you wonder if they're actually listening to your music or they're just watching you. So it is different. Being a woman, I think, just having to play that crowd. You never know who's watching you and how they're watching you, I think is a thing.
Yeah.
So
I'll piggyback on that if you don't mind.
Please.
yeah, go ahead.
So I do a lot of our booking, and I would say a majority of the time, I feel like the focus is first and foremost the way we look, and then secondly, the musical talent. And we talked about this on the last show. I've had, a number of times when I approach individuals who book festivals, and I will quote one directly was, well, yeah, I would love to have some good looking women on my stage. And it just rubbed me the wrong way because, I'm going to say, y'all can agree or disagree. I kind of helped pick y'all out. I met Arianna. I picked Kelsey.
Well, you can be good looking all day, but you can't always be talented all day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Just
then
saying.
Kendra, I was like, I want to be surrounded by musicians who are badass musicians.
Totally.
And a very good friend of mine, Paul Priest from Jericho Woods, once told me, and this is the best advice I ever got, was you only get better by playing with people who are better than you.
Yep.
And that was my goal for the Britches. I want to be surrounded by musicians who are going to elevate each other.
Totally.
Yeah, we're all females because we want to support female musicians. But at the end of the day, it's about being powerhouse musicians, singers. And it really irks me when I go to talk to someone about booking a festival, and that's the first remark out of their mouth.
And not only that, it shouldn't be, that should not be a consideration for booking
Absolutely not.
at all. So it's not only it's gross, more than anything, it's gross. I think my naivety about it was, it was kind of like my naivety about the world when Obama got elected. I thought, all right, Obama's elected. We're stepping over this hump of being racist and ignorant and, just accepting people for who they are, not what they look like, what gender they are, and all these, who they love, all the things that I totally believed growing up. It never made sense to me, a lot of hatred and all that stuff, and it still doesn't. And then you think that you're over a hump, and then you end up in, I don't know where anybody sits, but not to get too political again, but to see the division and the hatred and the people that are racist and homophobic and come out and be so vocal about it and be so okay with hating out loud and putting people down for who they are. It just, I guess I should be more, have understood it more that this does happen now, that the grossness and that ick factor from people that are booking not only festivals, but they're gross. I mean, there's not all of them, but there's still that factor. And
There's some good people out there.
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, and
Yeah, 'cause
that's
there's a ton of them. I think of Colin Enchanted Forest. He does a ton of booking. He's great people. It's not all. So that's where I thought that most booking and things like that lied. It lied in, is your band good?
Well, not just booking, like sound people too. Like I've been drumming for
sound.
31
Another factor
years.
I'm not thinking about.
There's
And
been
being a drummer for that long with sound people, they're like, oh, is that how hard you're going to hit? And it's just like, why would I hit as hard as I possibly can every single note for 3 hours?
Oh my
that doesn't make any, if you want to see how hard I can hit, I'll show you.
Yeah.
But that's not realistic for 3 hours.
Yeah. And do you feel sometimes that they is this girl playing and then
Every time I step up on a stage or when I'm carrying my gear in,
Oh, yeah, there was
that's
that
so
time.
cute. You're carrying your stuff in for your
Shut up.
boyfriend.
oh my gosh,
No.
all the time.
all the time.
All the time. Like, oh, that's so cute. You're carrying stuff in. And so I just like smile and nod. And then I start setting up the drum set. And then I sit down and then I show them how it's done. I'm like, I'm not going to. No, we're not playing this game.
I can piggyback off of that as well. I cannot even tell you how many remarks, just even like between like sound people or just sound check, being like a female like lead guitar player, where I might have a rhythm player that's male and they will be expecting, comes to the guitar solo and they have him up all the way up. And then I'm like, hey. And then eventually they get it when the solo's over.
Yeah.
Or sound check when they're like, all right, lead guitar. And I start, checking the line. They're like, no, lead. And I'm like,
yeah, dude.
Excuse me.
Duh.
Things like that. Like, it's just always things like that all the time. I could go on about it for
days.
A long time. Yeah. Or, just carrying in gear too. Like carrying my own amp sometimes.
Who are you dating?
Right. Who are you dating in the band? How did you get back behind stage?
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
When I played
We're
with,
asking Kendra that. I was like, she's married to the guy in the band.
Yeah, but even like well before
Yeah,
that, like
no,
in high
for sure.
school, like in all the bands I've ever played with, it's always been, and then you get comments like, oh, how does your guitarist feel, being outplayed by a girl, or hey, or, just you play good for a girl, or things like that.
Right.
Then sometimes it's like, you feel like, am I getting attention for my musicianship, or am I getting attention for the fact that I'm a female? Like,
Right.
and then you question yourself, like,
Yes.
am I as talented as someone's telling me? Or are they just trying to compliment me? Because like, if you put me and this other guitarist side by side, my ability is not as good as his, but he's not getting attention and I am. And I've even had comments from past band members that didn't like that I would get more attention than them in a show, things
really?
like that. It's between the audience, the sound people, or your own band members.
It's a weird feeling going home from those gigs. For
Oh,
sure.
I can imagine. That's it's
For sure.
gross. That would. That's the word of the night is grossness. Especially if you're in a band. I don't get it. I don't get that. I don't get that. I kind of have the mindset like Anna was talking. Anytime I'm in a band, I want to be the worst player, regardless of what gender you are, who you are, any of that. That shouldn't be. That's so. It's just amazing the stuff, I guess, that I don't think about. I never thought about a sound person. I never thought about the booking aspect, about it being different. Real easy for me to think of it that way, just because it's nothing I've ever had to deal with. But I just never, and even breaking it down more to being band members and
then also like the marketing aspect of it. Like sometimes people see success like playing into that, but then it kind of feels like you're not focusing on the music at all at that point, So it's like, do you play into it or do you not? It's for some.
Well, that's why we struggle so hard trying to find outfits and stuff, because we're like, we don't want to play into this. We want people to see us for our skills. So
we want to
let's look as plain Jane as possible. But also,
if we look nice, are we like selling out?
Right.
But just by looking nice.
Right.
And you're like, it's like this double-edged sword of like,
So if you're in the mood to dress up and look all fancy,
we're kind of I'm kind of afraid to do that. Yeah, like I would dress down.
yeah.
I've always been very like conservative. I'm like, well, belly. I'm like, okay, I can show a little belly. But like even this shirt tonight, I'm catching myself pulling it up. Like I don't want any cleavage. I don't want anything showing. I wasn't gonna touch on this. Kelsey, is it okay?
please do. Oh wait,
Is it okay?
Go for it. Whatever
Is
you're
it
gonna
all right?
say, I bet.
All right.
I bet.
So the thing that's been really hard here lately, so we all play and we have great shows, and all the songs are great, and then it's no offense to Kelsey, because Kelsey is amazing. She's freaking amazing at what she does, but when she's on Cajon, for some reason, that's when men get really weird. Really weird. Yes.
it's the foot thing.
It's the leg thing. And it's like
They will line up
yes.
and be like, what is that you're
just
doing with your
because
leg?
She cultivates the whole box, and she knows how to play it, but people take it the wrong way and they look at it and they view it the wrong way.
what is
the foot thing. What is the
I mean,
thing?
You put your
thought it was.
cajon up
I was like, man, that sounds amazing. I apologize. I didn't think it was. I never looked and was like, "That's so sexy." It
Right,
was just
exactly.
awesome. It
Exactly.
sounded
You
amazing.
heard
like,
the sound, right?
yeah, that's weird. You know,
But
'cause I
like
was
you have your bass and your snare sound,
Yep.
but then you can change the pitch of your cajon, which a lot of people don't realize and they don't know, especially cajon players. They don't know unless you try it out. When you bring your foot up to the top and you're playing it as well and you drag your foot down, it changes the pitch of the cajon like you're going down toms of a drum set. So it elevates everything that you're doing and it makes drum fills sound a lot cooler. But I guess people think I'm doing something else or trying to lure them in.
They just have their own freaking mindset.
Yeah, no shit. I just it was like what drew my attention to what you were doing was like that when you went to the double, it sounded like a double kick. I was like, holy shit, that sounded so cool in the headset, and it went with everything that was going on, the double bass notes, and it was all about what was hitting. So
And could you imagine you never hear men in a band sitting around going, I have to hold my foot this way or I'm going to have people lining up in front of my band.
No.
Well, it's
Like,
not that
men
she's
don't have
doing,
this.
she's not doing that,
No,
but it's
no, it's
like,
not- it's-
that's how
Right.
That's
the
how the
people,
dudes look at
the
it.
people that are watching. And then it's like, we go on break or we're done playing and we have to deal with.
Men never contemplate this kind of stuff, not what they
As
wear,
long-
not
No.
how they hold
Yeah.
their
Correct.
And
instruments.
we'll deal
Or
with
walking
them
to
if we
their
can get
cars
money
at
off.
nighttime, like making sure you're safe,
Yeah.
walking to your car and getting there
'cause-
okay.
Keys in between my fingers.
Exactly.
Here's the thing: if a dude's playing the cajon and he runs his foot down that drum, do you think a
Nobody's
bunch of
looking.
women are lining up on stage?
No, I've never
I
seen
like
that.
your hairy
No.
foot, dude. Yeah, no.
No.
You're not
Look at your hairy
No. Yeah.
like a hairy toe
See,
with the
It's
fungi
like
nail.
we played a show with a very successful regional band here recently, and someone went off on my page for taking a selfie promoting a show while I was at work in a work shirt. And I won't get into details. And they're just like, well, if I had boobs, then
Shut
blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, this thing blew up. It was pretty ugly. However, we're at the show I was promoting. And I was like, I guarantee you, if one of those people on stage right now with all these women fawning over them took a selfie and posted, hey, playing in New Albany today. Do you think any woman would be on there being like, oh, I saw your chest hair in your photo.
No.
You must be you. If I had your chest hair, then no.
Is it?
No.
It was me. Hi, I was the problem you're promoting.
Is it mostly from men? All from men? How's that work out? Like
The jealousy
percentage-wise?
portion is 100%. I'd say, I shouldn't say 100%. It's a lot.
You can go 90%.
Of
The
Fellas.
people who make comments, jealousy comments and issues. Like, I don't see that a whole lot from women.
yeah,
It's usually men who are not as successful.
or as talented,
Or
or
as talented.
good, or that work
So
as hard.
the only way they can justify not being as successful as us is by playing the sexuality card.
yeah,
You're only doing good because of the way you look.
yeah, it has nothing to do with the hours of practice that
No.
you put in while nobody's.
And I'll be
looking, all those-
honest, like Kendra and I'm pretty sure you could probably agree. Neither one of us, nobody comes up to us and like bothers us after a show or during a break. Like we them. I don't mean this in a bad way, but I'm just saying like, I don't know. Certain guys have like their eyes out for certain things. I'm trying not to sound dumb here. I'm gonna sound dumb regardless. I swear. But like, I don't know. You have the people who own the key to Subway. And
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a thing.
and you have the people who appreciate your music. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
That was
Yeah.
the funniest night.
you Subway key owners,
Shout out.
Back up, all right?
Take
Back
note.
up. Take note.
I like my Subway. Nobody offered me the key to
But that was
Subway
his
that's open
pickup
24
line.
That was
hours.
his pickup. He's like, I
was
got
his
the
pickup
key to
line.
Subway across the street.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, that
For
was his
real?
line. Yeah, for
Wasn't he
real.
also like this,
For real.
like
He's like,
the
I could go
manager
get you a
of Facebook
sandwich.
or something
Look,
too?
I gotta-
Like,
I got to be honest.
I could go home and make a sandwich better than that sandwich, okay? Thank you, though.
That might get me. Sub?
The
You
key to
see how I
Subway.
deter them
Yeah.
off to them, deter you off to them. Yeah, it's a great tactic.
You wanna? Can you add bacon to that thing?
I got
All right,
bacon
it's a
in my
deal.
fridge.
Give me some of that warm up crispy bacon. I'll take it. No, it's a shame that all of these things are a thing at all, and it
Mhm.
sucks. It's
Mhm.
it's a lot of things. It's creepy, but it's also good to know that I think of like Ryan with Fuzzy Pig. I think of Colin. I think of Mark at the Monarch. I think of all the avenues that things seem to be the way that it should be. Fair and all about the music and about the things that it should be about. Because when we can finally get to the point where everybody that listens to you all goes, that's just a badass band, and nothing else is thought about other than that. And like, same deal for, I'm sure in Villamure it's the same deal. I mean, Kendra, you're leading a 3-piece of killer musicians, and I don't know if that is kind of a set for you all where you have to play before people take you serious. I mean, it shouldn't be part of the process. It should be, let me hear you. Are you legit? All right, let's book. Let's do this thing. And I don't know what it is that changes that. Has in the past, say, I don't know, 5 years or so, has anybody seen it trending for the better? Has it changed? Is it getting worse? Is it the same?
It's the same for me.
Really?
I think there are more people trying to change the stigma. I think there are people out there really trying to be like champions of equality, gender, like, women, men, but there's a lot of old timers that there's still a lot of that out there.
I feel like it's all how much you pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
The last music endeavors I was involved in, I didn't pay much attention, and maybe people didn't pay attention to me, but I'm sure it's always been around. It's probably been around forever. Yeah.
I can
and it's
imagine
just
how bad it's
it's
always
just
been,
it's
yeah.
like where attention goes, energy flows. So if you start paying attention, you're going to see it everywhere.
Mhm.
It's just how you decide or how you choose to deal with it is the key, honestly. So,
Well,
Kendra?
going back to what you said, just being aware
Yeah.
Yeah.
is a huge thing. Just being aware of the whole situation is important.
Yeah, understanding when I see lineups, and I know that there are a handful of all-female bands now, and are bands with female lead singers, and understanding that when I see a show, they're not on it, or when I do, it's so few and far between, or it's like I've been more mindful of that to understand that you shouldn't have to have like a female night where it's all female. It should be where these bands are headlining acts for shows across the region, because it's about the talent, it's about the songs, it's about the musicianship.
That's something that's, we get hit up to play these all-female music festivals, which I'm like, yes, let's do it. But at the same time, I'm like, that's great. But I'll look at some other festival lineups and it's 75% men. And I'm like, why? If we can put all these festivals together with all women, and they're phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Why aren't more of these on these other festivals?
And I almost wonder if those festivals, what is the demographic for the audience? Because I could imagine it would be a lot of like-minded people that are for women's rights, gender equality, those things. So it's great, and like you said, the lineups are crazy. But are you reaching people that you need to reach in those situations? Maybe where you can play another festival, add a female act to the lineup that maybe necessarily would have been a different act, a more male or all male act, and maybe forge your identity that way too. Or you can, I don't know. I just,
and in my mind, I'm like, a female songwriter and a male songwriter both have very different experiences in life.
Mhm.
Their songwriting is going to have very different messages. I'm like, if you have a festival with all male artists, you are doing the male experience in music.
Yep.
You're not expressing the musicality and the messages of the female demographic. I'm like, if I'm a female at a music festival, I want to hear the trials and tribulations that females go through. And no offense, but males don't get that.
No, 100%.
So I'm like, I want to hear
taken.
some female messaging. I want to hear like what's Arianna gone through.
Dude.
You know, I want to relate. I want to relate to the music. And if it's all males, I can't necessarily relate to all that music. I want to relate to some women on a lineup.
Yet another thing that I've never thought about is that experience for you in a situation like that. And I totally get it. Now that you say it, it's like, you know, I don't know if I just think in a real weird, narrow band, or it's just because it is my experience as a male to not consider things until they're brought up in this light. But that's something that is huge as well. I never have thought about being in an audience and having, you know, like, example, last year, Bourbon and Beyond, Blondie headlining one of the nights, and having that experience of a badass female, you know, what is Deborah Harry, 70-something, almost 80 last year, and absolute blew it. It was amazing, but I've never even thought about that as a female in the audience, looking at that and understanding that experience in a different way. So yet another way that I don't think about things. And I wonder, I hope that people aren't as narrow-minded as me when it comes to that. I'm not narrow-minded in the fact that I don't care. I don't think about things in gender first, but I also don't think about them in the way that sometimes maybe I guess I should. And that consideration, as well as the consideration of being a female musician who's up against things that I would never consider. So for people like me that are real dumb, how do you...
You're not dumb at all,
Well,
and we appreciate you.
I'm learning. So for people that are learning, what are ways like that you know, we can help champion that people listen to the music as musicians and not have... Is there something that we can do to kind of like help that?
I'm debating on if I hold my tongue.
No, do
Nope.
not. Don't hold your tongue unless you're going to talk about Jody being a goof.
Yeah. They're cute. We love them.
I got a middle
put that
finger.
finger away.
I got a middle finger.
As far as like the music festivals,
Please don't hold your tongue.
the music festivals, because I have a lot of friends that they frequent the Louder Than Life, the Bourbon Beyond, all the other festivals that are local to the Louisville area. You have your girl fans and you have your boy fans when it comes to like male groups, female groups, and usually it's male group. And a lot of times, like my peers, the ones who are not like musicians or in the arts by any means, yeah, they're digging the male groups, you know. Hot dude on some kind of instrument on the stage. I mean, that's how it goes. That's just how it flies. Like, because the girls, I don't know how it got started. We'll have to look back into some research and do that thing. But for some reason, the females, like, we try to bring each other down. And it's been a thing, it's been a thing. And I think that's where we need to just support each other. Like, you don't have to be in a competition all the freaking time. Like, we don't always want each other's men. Like, where that got started, well, I'm sure I could figure that out. But anyways, like, it's just always competition based. Who's prettier? Who's skinnier? Who sounds better? And that is just a constant thing. And we all struggle with it. As females, we all struggle with it. Every single one of us. But then a lot of us push it on to our friends or our peers, you know? And it's like, we could just stop. We just freaking stop that.
Yeah.
And just support each other and lift each other up. And that's what we are trying to do. Like, we are all different sizes and shapes, all have different abilities. I consider myself kind of like the lowest on the platform, honestly. Like, I'm learning from these ladies because I look up to them so much because they're so talented. And I think that's where we need to change. You don't have to keep it so negative all the time.
There's something inherent, maybe not with all musicians, but with a lot of musicians that it is, they do feel like if somebody else is successful, it takes away from their success. And I've mentioned it a few times on this podcast, but one of my favorite things to say is somebody else's success does not mean that you can't be successful. And you get there by lifting each other up. You know, I think that when you create what you're talking about, when you create an environment of female musicians lifting each other up and just musicians in general, supporting each other, showing up either by streams or by coming to a show or just saying, hey, I really like that song. Doing the little stuff like that to let each other know that it isn't about being better. The one thing that you can be great and you can be different. You don't have to compete. You don't have look. I started a podcast, me and Brad, almost 5 years ago. There were 1 million podcasts already. You know, we're not doing anything revolutionary here, but it was something that we just had on our heart that we wanted to do. And we understood that, look, it's a huge space, but there's room for everybody at the table. It's a huge table. So support the people that support you. Support the people that don't support you. Tell the people that you know, it's not about competing, especially with music. It's so like personal. All music is so personal. What you love and what you connect with doesn't have to be the best, you know, unbelievably intricate, most musical thing in the world. It can be a 3-chord song that just gets you in the heart. And there's room for those, and there's room for the difficult, and there's room for everything. And like taking all that negativity out of it and saying, look, doing what you said is so huge. How do we get there? You know, how do we get to the point where we're all lifting each other up? I think it's like in the little community of Louisville music, I think that there's some of that going on. I really do. I think that there's a lot of bands that love other bands and that are like, you guys play with a bunch of other musicians. You know, you're in this now, Arianna, but you know, the support that everybody has for each other and the open mics and the things that create those bonds seem to be really, really growing in this community. I don't know do you all have that sense as well?
I believe so. Like, there's been sometimes, you know, we share musicians from band to band. But I just wanted to mention, like, for anybody out in this area who's doing, or anywhere, songwriter anyways, I think most of our songs stem from having to deal with negativity and competitiveness and heartbreak and that's why we do what we do. And any true bands who are, I think, true musicians, we all get along because we all feel that same pain and we want to share our journeys, you know? It's not just pain, it's other things. It's
good
beautiful
times, too.
things, but, you know, a lot of us, you know, but do y'all want to hit on that?
I think you nailed it on the head.
I don't know if I nailed it on the head, but
Nailed the nail on the head.
Give me a nail.
I think you
Never
need a
mind.
hammer.
About went
Hammer.
almost went south that one. Anyways,
No, it's, playing music together is a very intimate process. And you do, share a lot of the pains and the good moments together.
good and bad all together.
The good and the bad together.
And you make something beautiful,
Yeah. And
like a baby.
I don't know how to make babies.
I don't know. I never made a baby, but
I will say with this band in particular that I really appreciate and love because I've played in a lot of projects, but this one in particular, we're very supportive of one another. We're very supportive of our boundaries with one another. Kendra has a young daughter. I have a 3-year-old daughter. Sometimes life gets overwhelming. And maybe I'm like, y'all are going to do a trio on this one. Or Kendra's like, I need time with Lorelei. Like, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I always want to say Lorelei or Lorelei. Like, and we're totally respectful of that. We respect each other's, boundaries, personal space, and personal needs. And we support one another. And that's not very common.
Yeah.
no.
So
12 years of not knowing that. So
So it's nice to be around people who support you on a personal level, on a musical level. And we want to see all of us succeed. So this has become it's almost like therapy. It's like, I love you all.
Well,
and yeah.
I appreciate it because, I've been performing out since I was like 16. How old am I now? Oh my gosh, I'm 30.
Do not even get me started.
I'm 30.
Don't get us started.
No,
Get
y'all
outta
are
here with
like
that.
22.
outta
Whatever.
here
Shut
with
up.
that.
Anyways,
Get outta here.
but I'm completely self-taught, so I see you sneaking in. Anyways, so I'm completely self-taught, and everything that I do, I've just had to figure out myself. But I've had these guys to help me, and like Anna's taught me theory. Kelsey keeps me in my time and my tempo, and she knows more things than I do about guitar, I swear. And then Kendra, you're a trooper because she's still new to me, and she's still, I don't know if you're figuring me out or just what I do, but
Teaching you to stretch your strings.
oh yes, she just taught me about stretching my strings this past Friday.
It's a
Yep.
necessity.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that was a scary endeavor because we were literally about to like perform 20 minutes after
It
she
won't
just.
stay in tune. I don't know why.
It's just-
That was the conversation.
That was a
Sound
whole.
familiar?
That was a whole thing, but I can play chords and I can write songs. I don't consider myself like a musician. I consider myself a songwriter, a singer-songwriter. The guitar it's just there.
I know.
It's
You
just
play-
there to make sounds,
you
and
play that
these
thing
girls
now.
got to
I
figure
heard
it
you.
out.
You play that thing. Come on now. You hold it
But-
down, rhythm. I do love your modesty. But this, I do consider this a super group for a reason, and you're
Well,
part
I
of that.
think-
You write killer tunes.
Thank
You
you.
play great rhythm guitar. And you guys all together really are the real deal.
Super girl.
And I'm super excited that we had the conversation we had. I think it's important. Hopefully, people listen to it and we can figure out a way to kind of bridge a little bit of the gap to where it isn't. You don't have to deal with some of the stuff that you all have to deal with on a regular basis. It's
Make it less creepy.
yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Please.
Amen.
It's really not hard to do. It's not hard to not be creepy. Just be inviting and be like open and want to have whoever you book be successful. It's really not hard. So I hopefully we get to that point. Hopefully it gets to a point where it gets easy, but for our listeners that want to figure out where you are playing, come find you, listen to you, where can they find y'all? And you all can do individuals because I know you all play it with, do other things and have other stuff going on. So if everybody wants to go around, that's cool too.
Well, you can find Arianna Barton Music, or at the Bourbon Britches on Facebook, social media, or we have a website too. So .com.
It's a really good website. I
And
checked the website out. Yeah,
These
killer
girls,
website.
Yeah.
Great set
And-
list, by the way.
Thank you. And then Anna, where they can find you.
Anna Blanton Music, pretty much everything. Facebook, Instagram, AnnaBlantonMusic.com is probably where everything stays most up to date. So yeah.
Kelsey Lee Drums for pretty much everything. Instagram, Facebook, website. Kelsey Lee Drums.
And then I'm on Facebook. Kendra Villiger is my music page. And I've got Villamure and I'm with the Bourbon Britches. So
Hey.
Kendra Britch.
Kendra Britches.
The bass bridge.
Bass Britch.
Well, it has certainly been a pleasure to have you all in. I can't wait to watch, see, listen to what y'all do. And hopefully, like I said, man, this kind of will help start a conversation, if nothing else. And if you want to follow Top Hill Recording, you can do that on YouTube. God, Earl, where are you, man? I need you for this. I never come. I'm always bad with this part. This is the worst part. Yeah, we're on Spotify. We're on all the stuff.
It's okay.
So
I stalked
follow.
you all beforehand. So
Yeah.
you're on the Spotify,
What are we on?
I think, YouTube.
Definitely YouTube.
Facebook,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Oh,
And
we
you
got
have a
TikTok.
.com.
We got a TikTok and tophill.com, tophillrecording.com. Check that out. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Yay.
Thank you.